Good morning, everybody. Buenos dias, bon dia, bonjour. Welcome to New York City. Welcome to Connection this morning as we celebrate another edition, 2025, Caribbean Week in New York. It is also a special month for the Caribbean American community, and today we recognize... I did say good morning. Can I feel some love? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Everybody good? Everybody happy to be in New York? We have a tight schedule. We're going to kick things off with the opening ceremony here in this Broadway room, and we'll be here for about an hour, and then after that we're going to go upstairs with Peter Greenberg. So all of our luncheon events will be held, luncheon, breakfast events, food events will be held here in Broadway, and then the main sessions, you can just take the escalator or the elevator up to the 4th floor for the main sessions, and we'll share more details on the logistics. It takes a little getting used to, but nothing like ITB Berlin, walking miles from one appointment to another. So that's what we have in store for you. Allow me to introduce Bevan Springer. I'm the president of Marketplace Excellence. We're a public relations organization that represents the Caribbean Tourism Organization. We've been doing that for a couple of years, and proud to bring Caribbean Week in New York to you this year on behalf of the Secretariat team and, of course, the Secretary General, who we will recognize shortly. But before we say anything further, things with some decency and order. So I'd like to invite Mr. Colin James to start us off with the invocation.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are physically able to stand, can I invite you to stand briefly while we invoke God's presence on the proceedings this week? Oh God and our Father, we give thanks to the islands of the Caribbean, oh God, from Bahamas in the north, Bermuda, all the way down to Trinidad and Guyana, Bahamas in the north, Bermuda, all the way down to Trinidad and Guyana, Belize. Every island, every community, oh God, we lift them up before you. Every island, every community, oh God, we lift them up before you today. We thank you for your divine protection, the camaraderie, the meetings. May they be productive, Father, that when all would have been said and done, your Son Jesus will get the glory out of what we do. We thank you and we bless you, and we commit this week, this city, into your hands.
Thank you, Colin. We'd like to say a special good morning to Colin. We'd like to say a special good morning to those who are joining us online. We are streaming on Facebook as well as Caribbean Tourism Organization handles, and so tell your friends if they want to follow what's going on this morning, as well as during the Next Generation Showcase when we put the spotlight on our young people. We'll also be streams that have made Caribbean Week in New York what it is, and those include Dominica and US Virgin Islands, our platinum sponsors, our gold sponsors, Bermuda, Global Ports Holding, our silver sponsors, Sandals Resorts, St. Kitts, our bronze sponsors, Anguilla, Barbados, Tempo Networks, St. Lucia, and Adara. So thank you. Let's put a round of applause for our sponsors. Handle some matters of protocol, and we would like to recognize in the room and to the course of the week, the Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, the Deputy Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the Honorable Dr. Ernest Hilaire, the Minister of International Transport and the Caribbean Tourism Organization's Council of Ministers and Commissioners, the Honorable Ian Gooding-Edghill, ministers and commissioners of tourism throughout the 25 member countries and territories, Camille Joseph Ferlac, the Deputy Commissioner for Trade, Investment and Innovation with the City of New York, Mr. Dilip Sean, Organization Board of Directors, Andrea Franklin, all directors of tourism, Secretary General and Chief Executive Officer of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, Dona Regis. Regional bodies, members of the diplomatic community, heads and representatives of government ministries, departments, authorities, and statutory agencies, CTO allied members, management and staff of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, our hosts, as well as members of the media. Welcome. Protocol has hereby been established. Now, we with a young Nevisian who is going to do the official conch blowing to open Caribbean Week in New York. You know, there's a big focus during Caribbean Week in New York on our young people with the Next Generation Showcase, which is taking place during the course of the week. But young Patience Williams, and she completed her internship on the nature island of Dominica. Moving right along with our program, we're now going to invite the Secretary General of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, Dona Regis-Prosper, who took up this role with CTO in these 2 years in terms of leading the organization under two chairmanships, as it were, chairmanship of the Cayman Islands and now Barbados. And we are at the final stage of launching the reimagining of the organization. She brings words to us this Caribbean Week in New York. Let's give it up to Dona Regis-Prosper.
Thank you so much, Bevan. And you know, I auditioned to do the conch blowing, but guess what? I didn't blow the conch, so you know what happened there. I would like to officially adopt the protocol that has already been established. My chairmanship, Ian Gooding-Edghill and Andrea Franklin, also the Council of Ministers and Board of Directors, and also my good friend Peter Greenberg. Thank you so much for coming. And those of you who are from St. Lucia and Dominica, Sakafet. Those of you who are from the Dutch Caribbean, Bon dia. Those of you who are from Jamaica, you know, give me a typical Barbados greeting. And the answer was, be very polite. So, good morning. I think you say that in Tobago as well. So, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to help me welcome yourselves to this wonderful week of activities. So, I'm going to ask you to do something. Grab your cell phones, turn to your neighbor, choose which neighbor you want to, take a selfie, and email it to me. The best selfies are the ones that we're going to be posting. So if your selfie did not make it, then that tells you something. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome you to Caribbean Week in New York City. Welcome you to the beautiful city of New York, where we will be spending the next 4 days really immersed in our culture. From my last, and I think that deserves a round of applause. Caribbean Week is more than just a gathering. It is a celebration of what we know to be true as Caribbean people. It's coming together of over 25 nations, bringing our culture and the best of who we are to the international stage. Thank you so much. What I do as Secretary General, I do it along with a team who's highly supportive towards the we do towards the promotion of this region. One Caribbean, one voice, one sea. Thank you so much.
Thank you to deliver remarks. He is also the Minister of Tourism and International Transport. for the beautiful island of Barbados. Let's welcome the chairman.
Everybody, I'm not going to follow Dona now and say good morning in several languages or in several true Caribbean greetings, but I say good morning to all of you, and thank you very much for making the journey to New York for our annual Caribbean Week. Let me first of all, and as a politician, you know that it is important that we recognize them. So let me first of all welcome all ministers and commissioners of tourism, certainly to the Deputy Mayor for Administration, and also the Deputy Commissioner for Trade and Investment Management, and staff, of course, of the Caribbean Tourism Organization, and thank you for all you do. Specially invited guests and members of the media. Prayer, of course, as always, very inspirational. So I think you've now become the resident chaplain of CTO. But I thank you for your grace, for your inspiration, heritage, and to envision a bold and transformative future for the Caribbean tourism. On behalf of the Council of Ministers, it is this week we come together with purpose and pride, determined to chart a course that is innovative, inclusive, and sustainable. The 2025 evolve, the wisdom to collaborate, and a commitment to lead. In this spirit, I would like to extend heartfelt thanks and recognition to the remarkable individuals, the importance of regional collaboration. For decades, the Caribbean has shown that when we work together, we thrive together. We are a connected community of innovators, dreamers, and doers, and our Caribbean tourism. Caribbean Week is a declaration of who we are and where we're going together. Through the forums, meetings, networking, and social events and cultural engagement, let us reaffirm our unity and elevate our ambitions. At the end of the day, we're simply stronger together. As chairman of the CTO Council of Ministers in Tourism and Commissioners, be inspired. Let us answer the call of the conch shell, not just today, every day, as we move forward together to strengthen our Caribbean resilience, for all you do to contribute to the growth of Caribbean tourism and certainly Caribbean Week 2025. Once again, let me say thank you to all of you who journeyed to New York. We are especially I thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. We are now going to keep it moving right along and invite the Commissioner of Tourism for the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Tourism, the Honorable Joseph Bushulte, to deliver remarks. Sponsors. Is Commissioner Bushulte in the room? He stepped out. Oh, here he is. There he is. Let's give a round of applause to the Honorable Joseph B. Bushulte.
Morning, everyone. This is definitely a surprise, and I'm not a politician, so I don't know how I'm going to take this moment. But morning, everyone. My name is Joe Bushulte, Commissioner of Tourism for the Albert Bryan Jr. I wish everyone a successful week in New York City. As a long-time visitor to the city, I've lived here a couple times. You know, every time I come back, always full of energy. And most importantly, always a lot of Caribbean people all around. So New York is definitely a home away from home for us. I also want to express special thanks to USVI. And we have been in CTO, and then we left CTO, and now we're back in CTO. So I think that we have seen both sides, and I could say from me being commissioner right now, that we appreciate the membership of CTO and all that CTO does in the region for us as a territory and as a strong player in the tourism field. Lastly, I want to express gratitude to all of the tourism partners in the room. I definitely can say that strength in the Caribbean as a tourism destination, both from the cruise side and the overnight side. And I think a lot of that has to do with the testament that we regularly to work together, even though we may compete for certain segments of the business. But at the end of the day, there's more than enough business body that represents. And again, thank you and welcome to CTO 2025. Caribbean Week. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Basholte. I just got a little bit of a palpitation just now because I looked at my WhatsApp and I saw the journalist to blame. All these beautiful pictures. All right, moving right along from one Caribbean giant into Joseph Basholte to another who has been making her mark in the nature island of Dominica. Let us put our hands together to the beautiful and colorful.
Thank you very much, Devin. What does it mean to be resilient in the Caribbean? It means turning hurricanes into hope. It means building bridges across islands and industries. And it means gathering, like week right here in New York City, the cultural crossroads where the Caribbean pulse never stops beating. I bring greetings from Dominica, the nature island of the Caribbean. We are proud to support this week's Caribbean celebration as a platinum sponsor. The theme this year, Caribbean Resilience, Crafting Tomorrow's Tourism. It is our daily truth. From hurricanes to economic shocks, our region has weathered many storms. And yet, here we are, not only recovering, but reimagining what the Caribbean can offer the world. Let me share a quick story. A few years ago, after a long day of hiking, the rainforest meets. When he opened his eyes, he simply said, "This place changes you." That moment reminded me what we do. Tourism at its best, it's a bridge between cultures, communities, and our shared humanity. In Dominica, we're building back better, not just with climate resilience better, not just with climate resilience infrastructure, but with people-centered development. But with people-centered development, community tourism, and a deep respect to accommodate increased visitor capacity and larger aircraft, ensuring sustainable growth while adapting to changing environmental conditions. These are some of our commitments together. Regional cooperation must remain at the heart of our tourism growth. From shared marketing efforts to regional airlift solutions, but our goals, sustainability, visibility, inclusivity are the same. Unity is our competitive advantage. As the great Caribbean American poet Audre Lorde once said, "Without community, there is no liberation. But community must not mean a shedding of our differences. Unique voice, yet we harmonize in chorus. We are stronger, bolder, and more impactful when we rise as one." And let's not alliances with local tour operators, investments in hotels, or joint initiatives with regional and international stakeholders. Diversify offerings and elevate the Caribbean experience in new and meaningful ways. So this morning, I want to propose a bold idea. What if together 2030, each island, each territory, contributing its unique strength toward a future where the Caribbean leads the world in a climate-smart, culturally rich, inclusive tourism. It's time for us to move from intention to action. One beautiful example of World Creole Music Festival, taking place this year from October 24th to 26th. Need I say so? Picture thousands of people gathered at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium and dance hall, all immersed in a weekend that celebrates Creole heritage, Dominican hospitality, and Caribbean unity. This is a moment of pride and bold in our vision. Let us craft tomorrow's tourism to withstand challenges and lead the way in sustainability, in innovation, and in Caribbean excellence. To building a region where tourism uplifts everyone it touches. Thank you. Long live Caribbean unity, and see you in Dominica this October.
Thank you, CEO Williams from Dominica. Let's give her another round of applause. New York, I would like to invite at this moment the Deputy Commissioner for Trade, Investment and Innovation with New York City Government, Mr. Dilip Sean.
Thank you. Good morning. Honorable Secretary General, for staff. On behalf of the Mayor, Eric Adams, and the City of New York, it is a pleasure to welcome you all to Caribbean Week 2025. New York is a home to one of the largest Caribbean diaspora in the world. The Caribbean culture is woven into our fabric of our city, from business to government to food, music, and arts. This year's theme, Caribbean of the Sister City Agreement between the New York City and the Bridgetown, Barbados last year, under the leadership of the Mayor Eric Adams. At the Mayor's Office of International Affairs, Business Development, or the people-to-people connection, our goal is to help Caribbean nations thrive both at home and right here in New York City.
A very special lady who also represents New York City. She is the Deputy Mayor for Administration, and I understand that she has some special Caribbean roots, perhaps more than roots, but we'll soon find out. Wendy McDonald is ecstatic in the back of the room, looking for fellow trainees around to celebrate the accomplishments of this wonderful lady. She's an attorney. She started her career as an assistant district attorney in Kings County, and she's represented New York City and New York State at some of the highest levels: Director of State Operations, Chief Risk Officer, Special Counsel for New York, now Deputy Mayor for Administration for the City of New York. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm Caribbean welcome to Deputy Mayor Camille Joseph Ferlac.
We can do a little better than that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I would like to start by acknowledging all of the dignitaries and honored guests in the room. My name is Camille Joseph Ferlac, and I'm honored to join you all here today as we commemorate Caribbean Week in New York and Caribbean American Heritage Month nationwide. I'm grateful to the Caribbean Tourism Organization and the Planning Committee for Caribbean Week 2025 for the invitation to speak with you. The Caribbean American community is the heartbeat of New York City. Deep cultures from all around the region are exported through food, music, storytelling, art, dance, and much more. Caribbean history is New York's history. I am proud. While my mother brought me to the States as a child and oddly bypassed Brooklyn and ended up in Rochester, New York, rest assured that my two siblings and I were raised Trinidadian. Turnovers, bacon saltfish, Guinness, roti, curry, dumplings, church, licks, and along with strong values, integrity, the love of community, and pride. My mother made sure we got all of it. While it was difficult to find community in Rochester, what I have always loved and cherished about New York City is its unapologetic embrace of everyone. We all, that's right. We all have a place and can find community here. I was envious growing up, but I'm so grateful to now call Brooklyn my home. Steps to foster mutual growth and strengthen collaborations that will benefit residents of both. We have a deep bench of Caribbeans in our administration. We host roundtables regularly with community leaders and Deputy Commissioner for International Affairs last November to celebrate the legacy of Barbadian American and New York icon Shirley Chisholm. New York entered into a sister city agreement with Bridgetown, Barbados, reflecting Chisholm's commitment to building a brighter future for marginalized and working class communities around the world. We remain committed to sharing innovative solutions to pave the way for a future centered on quality of life, social equity, and cultural exchange for generations to come. As we kick off Caribbean Week in New York, in the spirit of our New York City, committed to driving our community forward. Thank you.
Wanna we in this kind of position in New York City. And I always reflect on what Professor Rex Nettleford talked about during his creative, regardless of the field that we are in, whether it's the culinary arts, whether it's music, whether it's politics. And here we have one of our own as a deputy mayor in the city of New York. This is a big We'd like at this moment, before we move on with recognize all of our various ministers and commissioners who are attending Caribbean Week in New York. We are going to attempt to do a group photo at the end of this session. Honorable Owen Darrell from the island of Bermuda. We also have the Honorable Luce Hodge Smith, Junior Minister for the British Virgin Islands. There's the Honorable Adrian Thomas from Grenada, Spice Isle. And he brought his cheering crew with him. We also have the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, who will be speaking today from Jamaica. From St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Ernest Hilaire, Deputy Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Tourism and Culture from French St. Martin, the Honorable Valerie Damaso, the Honorable Carlos James from St. Vincent. We also have a new minister joining us from the Turks and Caicos, the Honorable Javargo Jolly. We welcomed him earlier, the Honorable Joseph B. Busholte from the US Virgin Islands. Mayor of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley from Nevis. And from the island of Tobago, the Honorable Secretary Tashia Barres. We'd also like to recognize, when we talk about the creative genius of the Caribbean, someone who greeted us pan melodies from the island of Barbados, Mr. Adrian Clark. Let's give him a round of applause. And Adrian is not just a steel pan player, he's a national tennis player of Barbados and also played on the Caribbean, Commonwealth Caribbean team back in the days during Davis Cup. So he was an internationally ranked tennis player and he currently is the director of a major tennis facility in Brooklyn. You can give him another round of applause. Okay, Before we move on to the next item, I'm going to ask, or the major item of the day, which is wrapping things up and getting set for our Around the Caribbean with 60 Minutes with Peter Greenberg. I'm going to re-invite to the stage Colin James, CEO of Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority, who is also the chairman of the CTO Events Committee, just to walk us through what we can expect during the week. Round of applause to Colin James.
Good morning again, everybody. It's always good to be here. First, let me acknowledge the presence of the officials from New York City, Deputy Mayor and Chief of Staff Camille, Joseph Ferlac, Mr. Dilip Shahun, Deputy Commissioner. And the fact that we have such high-level representation tells you that the over 1 million people of Caribbean descent in this city, they vote. Amen. But thank you for gracing with my colleague event committee members. We really had a mandate to spice up this year's Caribbean CTO Week. And so let me acknowledge Ms. Andrea Franklin from Kelly Fontenelle from St. Kitts and Nevis, Ida Wenham from St. Martin, Miss Ayana Young, U.S. Virgin Islands, Stacy Liber, the former CEO of the Anguilla Tourist Board. Excellent. You guys have done a wonderful job. I want to thank you first and foremost. And so it's my pleasure to bring a brief overview of Caribbean Week. They told us to spice it up this year, so we got some jerk from Jamaica, we got some curry from Trinidad, and the tri-state area. I would like to begin by thanking Mayor Eric Adams and his team of officials in the Caribbean. For many years, we have done this in June, because this month has been designated as Caribbean American Heritage Month. So it's in honor of all the contributions of people from the Caribbean and of Caribbean descent who have made to the Council of Ministers will make decisions about the business of Caribbean tourism, and will engage in master classes on artificial intelligence, not A1, and hospitality. Launch of the CTO's Reimagine Plan. Media Marketplace and Caribbean Media Awards will allow us to interact directly with a special cadre of journalists and influencers who help us to tell our story. And will stimulate our audience for even more Caribbean experiences. Our tourism leadership lunch this afternoon will be a special treat and sponsored by the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism, Investment and Aviation. And if you truly honor women who are shaping and present the future of Caribbean's tourism, tonight's Caribbean Women's Leadership Awards and dinner will truly celebrate them in a special way. Other sessions throughout the week will include forums on airline and cruise connectivity, critical for our region, the orange economy and creative industries, and the next generation showcase for Caribbean youths. They are the future. When I saw that young lady blowing that conch shell today, I said, you know, as we are blowing that shell this morning, find your way back home. There will be an allied member session on emerging markets and the CTO's relaunch of the highly popular Hospitality Assured program on Thursday evening, and I want you all to get your tickets. You will be a sort of taste buds gone wild with meeting rhythms of the region, so don't miss it. It's a place to truly excite your palate. Synopsis, ladies and gentlemen. The entire program, you can download this from the onecaribbean.org. So in conclusion, we know that Caribbean has people who visit in of anything that you would like it to be that is positive, that causes you to grow, and that brings a smile to your face. And so it's our job as hosts this week to make sure that everybody feels special, starting from the store for you when you land in our destinations. And that's exciting for us. So it's our chance to remind New Yorkers of the character, the culture, and the unique hospitality that makes us different. And this year...
Thanks, Colin. We are at that stage where it's time to move and groove. But it's been a wonderful morning. Lots the beauty of the Caribbean and innovation working together. This is critically important for us as Caribbean people, especially those of us who've come from the region and interacting with those in the marketplace. To remind you, floor for Around the Caribbean in 60 Minutes with Peter Greenberg. We're going to do that group picture. In the interest of time, upstairs after that session, there's a board of directors meeting that begins at 10 o'clock. They will have the leadership luncheon sponsored by the islands of the Bahamas. In the afternoon, we have the Council of Ministers meeting in the Minetta